Oh, I think we are live. Excellent. Well, hello and welcome to the SBR GT3 Season 11. Is that rounds 1 and 2 here at the Kyoto Driving Park. We are going to be at the combined track, running both tracks, so that's going to be a lot of fun. All GT3s. We got a mix of BMWs, GT3s, as we see Rob, Liam, and Austin all running in line with each other. Graham and the Viper. So yeah, nice. Welcome to the start of the season here. Like we said, we're starting here at the Kyoto Combined Driving Park, so it's going to be a lot of good times. We've got a lot of familiar faces. I think maybe everyone here ran the last season as well, as we have Real Racing. Put like 42 E's in that reminder, but yeah, so that's Real. He was there last time we saw. We have, I used to remember Conrad's name, but we have Conrad, Graham, is that Austin, Liam, Rob, all running side by side with each other. As we're going to get qualifying starting any second. As John said, he was having little issues with the tires, and we can see there is this track's going to have a lot of people running wide because you're going to really want to push all these curbs. Track limits at pretty much all of the made-up tracks are very much a suggestion, not a rule on most tracks. So you can get away with cutting across quite a bit of these different corners and stuff. So we'll definitely see people exploiting all of the track limits, which will end up with some people eventually probably going wide into these walls that line the outside, I would assume, because anytime I've driven this track, outside of the one chicane that's real difficult, most of it's just really about keeping your speed up, keeping your pace up, and going really as quick as you can. I guess it's not really even a chicane it's so much as just a real long hairpin, as we see them all kind of coming through one of the more difficult parts of the sector. Most of this track's just pretty straight into they look like they should be slow corners, but they're just really not slow corners. Like, they're going through this corner at 105 miles an hour, like not even dropping below 105 and just continue to go. So they're just not that slow corners, as we see Austin flying in the BMW through here, 140 through the little chicane. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of really quick driving, and that's just going to lead to people having to try to stay as clean as they can, but it gets real tough through most of this. Is about the slowest they go is through this long sweeping, just everything elevation changing section. It's about the only real difficult part. Everything else is pretty fast. That elevation change and then the little flat bottom right as you get to the bottom is quite difficult, though, as it can definitely set your car will react differently depending on where you hit it. So when you're side by side with cars and you're not on your normal lines, it can just kind of make things get a little bit awkward through there, as sometimes it'll force you to oversteer, sometimes it might force you to understeer, and so you just kind of take different angles coming off it. But qualifying should get started in just a few minutes. I think someone said they needed just a couple minutes, and then we'll see where the season starts. As we know, Liam had a good run last time, or I don't know why I keep saying it's round 1 and 2, because I have the point standings here we could actually go through, so it's definitely not the first round. I was just reading the lobby, which said round 1 and 2. So it's clearly not that, as we do have, where is he? Oh, in the pits. Green currently leading the championship with 71 points. Austin out on the track with 54 points. I'm not going to be able to scroll everyone fast enough. McEwen, so Liam McEwen with 44. Rob Adams with 43. Callum Cripps with 41. Edwards also with 41. So our top 6, taking out Green, who's got a pretty good lead, are all within about 13 points of each other, and most of them are within 2 points of each other. Then in 7th, we have Morgan with 38. 8th has been Milton, 32. 9th is Austin Piper with 18. 10th would be McIntosh with 18 points. I forgot my numbers. 11th is Heron with 10. 12th is Graham with 9. 13th is Thompson with 9 as well, so tied right there. A couple of people are tied. Piper and McIntosh also tied at 18. Schaller with 7, and Ross currently with no points, so bringing up the back, but looking to change that here in that Porsche. It seems he drives that Porsche a lot. Must really, really enjoy the Porsche here. So I'm not the biggest fan of the Porsche, but I have seen some people be pretty quick in it. So, you know, I think driving the car you're most comfortable in is probably always the best. But it looks like qualifying's going to get going any second now, and it is a track that being able to get pulled by someone is not the worst thing. Dirty air, though, is really bad, so just timing it so you can get by them can be beneficial, but I think a lot of people might just be looking to get, you know, clean lap. If they get pulled with someone, just trying not to get messed up in the dirty air. And if you can just get away with not getting messed up in the dirty air, you should be able to probably do just fine. As the qualifier is getting going. As we see people coming out on hards, mediums, softs, all sorts of different tire compounds here. As clearly the people on the softs will have the best chance, but you do have to get by everyone else, and if the track's just not going to let you out, we see a couple people just being nice and patient. I do know Edwards, I believe it was Edwards. We'll have to see who doesn't come out. Someone does have a qualifying ban due to excessive penalties, so they will not get to qualify and have to start at the back regardless of their tire choices. Joker's trying to get some heat in those tires, it looks like. Cars coming out of the pits with warm tires, so you don't have to worry about heating them up on the first lap. You can just kind of, like, they actually don't get any better than coming out of the pit. That's why a lot of times you'll see people say things like, man, if I could just do an out lap every lap, and it's like, well, yeah, the tires don't actually get better than when you're on an out lap, so you don't usually have to warm them up too much on your out lap like you do a formation lap, because the race, they do start cold, but pits, they do come out warm, so you're usually pretty good there, as people are kind of getting all bunched up here. As we see Real, John, and Piper were all right there, but they got it figured out. They got themselves lined up, so they'll be good to go. Does Callum have any title chances? He's exactly 30 points back, so he would need a lot of help from Green to have some poor performances. But yeah, I mean, as long as he keeps scoring points and he can battle ahead of Green, you know, there's a chance, I'm sure, but he does currently have a real good shot at anywhere in the top two. I do not remember. They are on Kyoto, so I believe 2 more rounds? I need to double check that, but currently Green has been doing a fantastic job of running and getting a very big lead in most all the races, so the battle for the top 3 is really where the real intensity goes, because he's only 10 points back of getting into the podium. It's really that gap from first to second that separates them the most. As we see them just all lined up on this qualifying lap, just trying to kind of find any space, but oh, that dirty air can get really bad with Root right behind Graham. We also see John following in some air right here, as this whole line's following Liam down the back straight. That's not even a back straight, that's a back long whooper, but you'll see they just won't drop their speed very much on most of this track, as they're going to finally start their very first lap, and this is a weird place to be in qualifying, like just in a 3-way battle for a qualifying lap. That is tough, and then just everyone else right behind you, so any mistakes just makes it even more difficult. I mean, if you're in Liam's spot, you just got to keep it clean, because really no one can do anything about it. They're going to run slower laps than you, most likely. Real has a little bit of a chance to close that gap some, so he could run a bit faster lap. And then really, I think if you're looking at the position, Conrad here and Cripps, they're sitting pretty. They don't really have to deal with all this battling and losing time over apexes and things like that. They can just kind of run their own laps. As, you know, Liam's just really hoping no one makes a mistake, no one gets into anyone. As we see John run a little wide there. Looks like he got it under control. Maybe it was Rob who braked a little late there, as they kind of took different angles in there. And yeah, this just isn't going to be beneficial for qualifying. And now Real's been caught right up in there, so now his lap's not going to get better unless people just start moving out of his way. Well, there's one person to move out of his way. That's a good start for him. He hasn't had to slow down at all yet. Oh, as John concedes all the way into the wall. That's going to ruin that lap, but there's time for more, so, you know, get your own spot on the track, and this lap was ruined anyway, so it doesn't really matter. As now Real's hoping for Rob to get out of the way as he's closed the gap up here. and Rob does get out of the way. Everyone just letting him keep his lap going, where it looked like this would be super dangerous for him, having all these cars in front of him. He's kind of just getting everybody to move out of his way. According to Edwards, there's not enough time for him to fully come back. There should be enough time to get into that second and third place position, Joe, just because that's not that far away. That whole group is just... Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll see it in the race where we see literally second through about 6 just stuck together because they all run the exact same pace. Israel just kind of gets through all of them, so he might be on a pretty good one, as we will have Callum to set the exact first lap here. And Conrad to see if he has gone quicker or slower, as this will be one of the better ones, but he's on mediums and hards, so these will probably not be the best laps, as the soft runners are going to come up here and probably put down way better laps than that, I would think. As Real goes 18. Liam goes up into the 20, so he's almost competing with the hard timers, but he did kind of get his lap, as we're going to see a bunch of people come across with some not amazing laps right off the bat. I guess Liam was on hards as well? So, I mean, pretty good lap, considering he's only 2 seconds off Real there. As everyone looks like they're just about to, we got Ross with the 22. Piper going to go on to pole with a 17. Austin trying to get the pole, 4/10 back. Is, oh, thank goodness you come out of the pits ghosted there. I think that might have scared him a little bit. He ran wide going through there. Joker with the 20. That's going to be competitive, especially if he's in hards. Yeah, like if you're on hards and running the 20s right now, it's looking good, since the mediums are in the 19s and the softs are in the 18s. That's pretty much exactly where they're supposed to be. Although there are a couple of softs we can see here all the way into the 17s, but you can just see by the tires on the softs, they're not even going to get another real flying lap in. Those tires are probably already losing time, so it's going to be tough to get multiple good laps in on the softs. So don't think those will improve too much, unless they can come in and get a new set somewhere and still get a lap done. But this lap just takes too long. It's not going to get all the way around, so I think they're just kind of on the softs just trying to put down the best they could, but they knew they weren't going to get to go long with them. As everyone finally kind of got spaced out, we've definitely got little gaps, as Ben's got a spot in front of him, but I don't know. I think they're going to probably get one more lap in for the majority of them. I think some of them at the very back of this lap have no chance, but we do have... They're not in the right order right now. Rob will definitely get a full lap in. He's coming around now. Still has a minute to hit the line. No idea where all these people are. These people will be close. A minute, and they still have to go through the S's and the longs. So Piper might be able to get one, but his tires are way too gone to get one that matters. So Rob gets one, which they were in order. That'd be super helpful here. Callum's going to get another one, and his tires, since they're the hards, he could still potentially get faster just because they're not that worn and his fuel's lower. Rossi's looking like he'll probably get one. So it looks like the majority of them will get this last one. Maybe the very back of the pack won't. As Green, who's been very competitive on the soft tires right now, currently sitting in 11th, so he hasn't quite found a way to put down any time to really move up the board, as not 100% sure what's going on there. But it looks like 10 seconds. Yeah, everyone's going to get... I think Piper just doesn't really need another lap. And I think most people are probably not going to improve by too much, since everyone's on more worn tires. I think the person who's probably looking to find a way to improve would be Green right now. Like, Green is on the soft tire. You can see from everyone ahead of him that people on the hards have out-qualified him so far. And so, and this is, you know, his last run at it. You got 2 minutes until that timer runs out to hit the finish line faster than all these hard tires ahead of you. As everyone else seems to mostly have filtered in, as we also have John on the softs needing to have a few people to pass on this lap as well. So John needs to find some time. Graham's probably okay being on hards and still being on the board. Same with Rob, as we know Rob's actually on a flying lap right now, so he could still improve up that board on these hards. And Edwards is, well, we know starting at the back, but he'll probably still find a way to battle into the podium positions, because he's quite quick and quite good. As we see Green coming around, and he's starting to get traffic. Is he starting to get traffic? I thought Groot was behind him, but maybe not. It looks like he's able to get the exit. Are they going to have any kind of battle into... Oh, are they? And they're both on real laps right now as Green takes it around the outside, but this is going to cost time. That is not the line you necessarily want to take, but it is quicker than Groot. Maybe the least amount of time lost there, but we've also got as Rob gets a 21, so it's not going to put him up into the top 3 or anything like that, but it is going to move him off the very back of the field, which is not where he wanted to be, so that's good. He's probably pretty happy with that. We'll check exactly where he is as they're coming around here, as these will be the last ones to probably be able to move up. I think I've seen everyone else lose some time on this lap. Maybe... Oh, as Green takes pole, Groot also improves. And John also improves. John with a really nice lap into the top 5. Talking about not being good on these tires. Finding himself a little bit of pace. As Ryle also... Not Ryle, it's Real. Right there, as the pace is actually in the top 5 right here. Everyone on the softs quite close. Everyone within a second and a half of the leader. And then we have in 6th place, as Green takes the pole, Piper in 2nd, Austin in 3rd, Real in 4th, John in 5th. As we see Graham go quicker as well. Is there anyone else on a flying lap? I don't think so. 17 seconds. And then starting on the mediums, we've got Conrad in 6th, Jokerman switching to, or is on hards in 7th, Liam hards 8th, Milden on the hards in 9th, Graham on the hards in 10th, Cripps on the hards in 11th, Rob also on the hards in 12th. Everyone else was on the hards except I think there was someone in there on the softs or mediums. I think maybe Ross was on the mediums. We'll see by what they start. I believe you have to start the tire you qualify on, otherwise you wouldn't qualify on weird tires. Which would make sense, since it goes straight in, you would have no time to actually change the tires, so you clearly have to start on the tires you qualify on. As there's the grid border, as we're getting ready to start here at Kyoto. Combined Green with the pole. Piper in 2nd, Austin in 3rd, all on softs. The top 5 starting on softs, needing to try to get away on this track as quick as possible, and with the amount of turns they have, and they're off, they might be able to do it, as Green gets a pretty good launch for that McLaren. Piper might be able to look, no, as they're just going to filter in his, ooh, Piper might be able to take the apex away. Green kind of overcooked that a little bit. And Piper is up the inside going side by side as they're just taking standing start formation, as we see everyone spreading out in the back right now. And really you're going to want to see, if you are on those soft tires, you don't want to make a mistake that falls you into these slower tires right now. Even losing a half a tenth or something, not getting too far out of control is going to be huge, because if you fall back into the pack of everybody, you're just going to be battling people on a slower tire, and that's going to slow down the whole race that you have. As the soft tires have gotten away, lined up nice and soft. John looking for a little bit of a move, but maybe not there, as we have no display going. As Graham currently at the hards up in front of Ben, who's on the hards, so we've got a little bit of mix as Groot's worked his way up into the top 8, as we see him going 3 or 4 wide back behind. Trying to look up the outside. We've got all sorts of different side-by-side battles. As you can kind of take any angle you want through here, but you do want to try to be on the accelerator as much as possible, just maintaining as much speed. These cars are really about patience, where a high downforce car, oh, as Groot's getting it pretty wide. Nice catch, nice and calm, just lose some time, but don't lose the car. Ends up losing a position to Callum as he goes up and around the outside, but he's kind of just getting eaten up by everyone, as we see Edwards already up into 10th, looking to get into 9th. Like we said, it didn't matter if he started the back, he'll be fine. As everyone else seems to start to settle down, it seems like the big battles right now are probably mostly in the back, as everyone else is trying to just kind of get away, as we do see Austin is looking for a move on Real. Just all over the back, and you don't drive that close if you're not trying to get him out of your way. That's not polite follow distance. Polite follow distance is John is taking alternative angles through the chicane. It's okay. Like I said, this track allows for a lot of different lines. Sometimes they're on the track, sometimes they're off the track. As long as you keep going straight, they're fine. Ooh, Edwards is going to get a move right here as we see, oh, and Groot catches the wall and gets an auto spin. That's going to let everybody grab a position. That's going to open up a little bit for everyone in the back, as they can kind of filter on through, and Luckily for Ghostinger, that might have taken a couple other cars with him as it ricocheted kind of back onto the track, but we see this battle in the back. Liam, Joker, Edwards, just kind of just continue on, as we're probably going to see that happen 1 or 2 more times throughout the race. This is the kind of track where you're just pushing the limits so much, trying to keep so much speed up that once you go off the track, you're just going to get clipped by a wall and it's going to spin you. As we see Real making the move, Austin making the move. Real was already in front, so Austin must be trying to get back past him. And this is probably not going to hurt for Piper and Green. I think they're probably fine to check out and just see if their strategy can work at the end. Don't need to do anything when you're following the leader. As we see, the rest of them starting to separate a little bit. Austin staying all over Real here as he's trying to keep that apex. It's going to be tough to keep the speed on the outside there as he does cut up the inside. Way to go. Everybody on a purple lap, lap 2. It's the best lap ever. It's one of the only purple laps I typically ever run in a race, so you always got to feel good about it. As Edwards in 9th getting hounded by Joker, but still, And I mean, to be fair, Edwards is in that NSX, and I mean, that thing is tough to drive as it is, and getting hounded by another car at the same time can be very difficult. As we do see Joker trying to see if he can find anywhere to sneak that GTR through, as you know, it's really gonna, I mean, the GTR, as long as it can stay flat out through these S's that come up, it actually might be a very strong car here. As we'll have to see how it plays out, as it looks like the top 3 are still staying the same, as we do see, it looks like Real's lost a little bit of the gap over here to Austin, as Piper is still just keeping right close with Green, not letting him go anywhere just yet. And I mean, that's a pretty good place for Piper. As that looked, just on the last glance, we looked like maybe it was one of those situations where Green ran it a little long, and since Piper was following him, he just kind of got pulled along with him, but he does run the fastest lap, getting a little quicker, which means he's closed the gap a little here on Green as he's closing it in. But I mean, it's a perfect place to be for him. Everyone else is having a battle. I don't know where the medium driver went, because there may not have been one since we've got the hard crew going right here, as we see them just all still grouped up. Yeah, I don't see anyone on a medium. We got Ross on a medium back here, so he is battling with Rob, who's hounding all over him. And then Conrad and Groot, who've had a few issues, are now battling off the back of the pack, so they're going to continue it on. As that Porsche goes a little wide, I think that's going to open it up for Rob. But it's going to not. He doesn't get the actual exit on him. He kind of spins a little bit as these all come through here crazy-like. And I mean, you're not in a bad position as anyone here. You're kind of just hoping someone else, you never wish bad things on the other drivers, but it wouldn't be the worst thing to see 4 people taken out and you just get some free ones. I don't even know how Liam lost the back end there. That was interesting. He must have just gotten really on the throttle. Maybe he almost hit a wall and that was him correcting to not hit a wall. And it looks like the leaders are still staying about as they are. Ben is still pulling the group of hards around. I'm sure if we go back, everyone's fuel should be just getting, well, for the most part, better. A couple people are over-revving it, but yeah, pretty much it's going to be, yeah, it's a great position for all of them, because Ben's using the most fuel, pulling the entire crew. There's, I think about one person in there. It's probably Edwards who's used the most fuel, because he's not messing around. It wasn't Edwards. Someone else had used a little bit more fuel, but they are in a full battle. And there's just not a lot of places to go right now, as Joker Man's finding his way up through a little bit, as he is ahead of Edwards and all over Graham, and he's probably going to get rid of Graham right here. That's going to get Edwards stuck behind. He couldn't quite find a way through. Liam couldn't find a way through, but... And now on to try to find us even catch up to Cripps real quick, as the leaders are staying pretty consistent. Let's see if we still have Piper keeping up with Green. And yeah, right there, just out of slip range, so that's not where you want to be. You do want to try to find a way down so that you can save some fuel on these straights like this. Every little bit will help, and as you can see, these tires starting to burn. They have almost the exact same tire wear. Piper's used a little bit more fuel, but roughly, in the same part, so that's why you kind of want to keep that gap as close as you can. Same thing for, Real following Austin and John following Real. If you can close the gap down, that's just going to allow you to save a little bit of time in the pits, and I think we've all lost a race by less than 0.5 of a second, where if you could have saved that in the pits, you'd have won by 2 seconds. as it looks like the battle is continuing on back behind us. Joker's kind of separated away from Graham and Edwards and Liam a little bit as he's gotten some clean air to close up here. But, oh, as Graham overcooks that, Edwards and Liam both going up the inside. And it's just, even if you overcook that corner, you can still get enough exit speed to kind of continue on. That no one's really able to make advantage of it. And that in hole slows everybody down because you're just falling back in line. Is into one of the tricky corners, going uphill, little bit of a bounce as, ooh, that wall gets real close, real fast coming out of there. Liam is in range to make a move, but he hasn't been looking like he wants to make a whole bunch of moves early on. There's a lot of laps to go. No real reason to try to get crazy on hards. Like, I mean, hards on these fast corners can sometimes feel a little sketchy, so maybe just drive a lot of pressure right on the back of people and see if you can just get them to drive out of the way. As, ooh, that was a cool camera. As we see them all coming through there, staying. I mean, yeah, these battles are all just continuing on as Joker has now officially caught up to Callum. If he keeps that gap, he is in the slipstream, which is exactly where the GTRs shine. Once they can really start hitting those higher gears and getting to their top speeds, they're just always on a higher speed than the car in front of them usually. And when you get the slipstream advantage, it's just not even competitive anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how the Lexuses here deal with this GTRs. It should just, yeah, it's just going to continue to overtake them on these real fast sectors. Should be a little difficult through the S's. It's not the best on the high speed corners like this, but he actually is maintaining it really well through there. And if he can really get a good exit here, he should be able to at least overtake one of them on the start finishes. He's really just kind of been hunting everybody down, like really has some pace on these hards. Yeah, and he gets the exit. Oh, as Callum just comes across him. Oh. That was a little dirty there. I mean, he may not have seen him, or he may have tried to be going defensive. It looked like he just kind of came across him and broke his run there a little bit. Actually, Callum dove into the pits. That's just bad luck. I see now. Got you. Because Callum's on softs now. My apologies, Callum wasn't dirty at all. You needed into the pits right there, and he was trying to make a move right there. Didn't know you were going in. Man, racing is confusing sometimes. That is tough. I mean, honestly, kind of props to him to get away without crashing anyone there. Because that's a real dangerous position to get in, as everyone was kind of on different pit strategies. As we just saw a ton of people come in and switch their tires out, as Green, on his fresh tires, has a huge gap all of a sudden on Piper. How did Piper lose? Oh, Piper put in fuel and no one else did. That's interesting, separating his strat out. But if he's going to get slowed down by Real, not going to get slowed down by Real, just going to pass him in the next corner and the first one he has a chance on. I mean, amazing, nice drive. That works perfect right there. So, I mean, he's added some fuel. So strategy's differed already, but it added 9 seconds to the gap. So it's kind of one of those situations where you're no longer putting any pressure on the leader and you're kind of just letting him running fast laps. You can all, you know, I don't know. Sometimes that can, it allows him to manage a gap, you know, and sometimes you put someone where they can manage a gap and that's just what they do to you. They just manage the gap the whole race and you just never can really get it back. So we'll see how that works out. But the strategies will close up here at some point. So we'll see if he knows that 9-second gap is technically artificial, because he should have to fuel back to the same amount at some point just later in the race. As we see this battle just continuing on, Rob, Ben, Conrad, and Graham all in there, and it's actually probably going to give Groot and Rossi a little bit of a chance. Or that's not Groot and Rossi, that is Liam a chance to close back up, as he is trying to figure out if he has fallen back from a mistake, which is very possible, or if it's just a little pit difference right now, as we do see like Rob still on the hards that have had well worn, so he hasn't come in yet. Liam's on softs. Ben's on softs, but a little bit older, so I think it's just a case of, you know, a little pit strategy difference, as Liam has closed that gap all the way up, as we do see Joker Man go into the pits, coming back out, and right back into the battle. You thought you were going to get a free lap? No. Continuing on. And I mean, realistically, that's not where you want to come out. That's going to be a pure battle. You already had to do this once, but I mean, to be fair, he's already done it once. He can probably do it again. He gets the move on Ben done quick when he sees the mistake. He should just be able to be completely past him. No, they're going to go 3 wide. Oh, he's going to have the inside for the last one, but I think Ben's going to shut it off, which he does, and this is actually letting Liam squeeze back through, so good racing from both of them. Standing start formation, as that is a cool angle, looking at them come down. That is a little sideways maybe in the back there for Conrad. Oh, the wall, as Edwards is all over him, so I'm going to be dead honest. Everyone changed tires to all sorts of different things. I don't have any of this written down, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens. I know Piper and Green are doing very well right now, and they are in legit positions, but there's a lot of people on different strats all through this, racing side by side, so they are costing everyone's strategy different times right now, so I'm not 100% sure exactly where everyone is. So we're just going to pretend they're exactly where they are, because that's pretty much where I think they might be. As you see, Callum's actually closed the gap up to Austin. And, I mean, really, for John saying he doesn't like these tires, he's doing pretty well running up here in the top 5 and trying to run into the top 3 as he just gets it done like no one's business. Into a top 3, which is about as good as you can get right here. He's been racing with them at the front. He's 4 seconds off Piper, who's actually lost a bit of that gap. This is what I was talking about. He's just he can manage this gap, make it higher than 9, and you've got a little bit of leeway, make it less than 9, and you're going to have to push a little bit more as the, but we'll see, because Green is going to have to come in the pits here pretty soon, and I mean, so will Piper, but I guess Piper just won't fuel on that one. I usually feel it's better to go lowest fuel, fastest tires, and that just kind of gets you the fastest lap, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you can find little ways to, eke out just a little bit of time. As we see Callum coming down that start finish, and we'll see if he can get any kind of moves done, but it seems like everyone's got just enough gap. As Edwards has kind of gotten a nice little separation, in which you think 8/10 isn't that great, but it's outside of slip distance, and compared to what the gap was a minute ago, that feels probably a little comfortable, seeing Ben run a little bit wide, but, these track limits are huge here, so you can kind of just go anywhere you want as long as you're within the walls. As Joker's worked his way back through most of the pack, he's coming up on Graham on a best lap. He's been running 19s, 21s, but you can see he's got these ones that kind of slow him down where he drops. That's a pit on the 25, but the 21 in traffic, the 20s in traffic, even getting 19s in traffic. And then when we look at Green, it's just, those are real fast, but those are also soft times. So we'll have to see how these hard drivers come out, but I'm kind of worried that they've battled too much, and the leaders haven't had to have the same battle, and most of them haven't been able to work through it, as we do see a couple. Callum's up in the battle, it looks like, so he may have been able to work through most of those hard battles and not lose too much time, but as Austin's fallen back a little bit, but he's still running real consistent times right there in the 19s and 20s. It's hard to compete with Green. I think I saw him run 15.8, so that's going to be real quick. As we've got Piper also there, 16.8, so he's getting close in those times as well. John with the 17.6, so as Callum's up into the top 4 as Real falls back just a little bit, all over. He's probably going to look for a move back on him. Yeah, you don't run that close if you're not trying to get that position back. He's trying to make him make a mistake. I don't know that he's going to be able to get any real good runs coming up on these S's. There is only realistically one line through the S's, and walls don't help runs. So, no, I think Callum is probably just through comfortably now. He's seeing if he can't close that gap down to John as he's going. I mean, they are all just flying through those S's. As Joker looks like he's also gotten up past Ben and Liam and everyone, so he's now got Edwards in his side ahead of him. I didn't even see that I got that off. And Ben now is under attack by Liam, who's all over the back of him. Looking a little wide. Graham coming out back in the Viper, diving into the pits on those softs, low on the fuels. We see everyone's fuel all over the place. We got the medium fuel here. Joker on a quarter. Alright, so pretty much everyone on a quarter or half, depending on how they went with their pit strategy, as we see them all coming through the deadly little chicane area. One of the difficult places into the hairpin that also isn't a hairpin, but, you go one way all the way the other way, but it's pretty quick. It has a lot of room, but you do get slowed down. And then you'll see them coming down here is really, I would think this would be a big move if you could find a way to just get your run alongside here. This would be one of the better corners, potentially, is how long it is. If you can get them off the apex, you can kind of maybe take it, but it is a tough track to find passing zones in. There's only a few lines through a lot of these corners. And then the few ones where there are multiple lines, it seems like whoever's ahead just kind of ends up staying ahead because you can't get back past them. So we'll see how they actually exploit that. Trying to get tighter on the outside with people, holding them tighter against things, being a little bit more aggressive, trying to get overlap earlier, as we see Austin's trying to turn it back on and get all over, but it actually ends up overcooking. That's going to let Edwards sneak up in there. Edwards all over the back of him. Joker's getting a little bit of separation from Milden, who actually is still not quite broken the slip distance to Liam. Liam just following in. As Milden's actually doing a little bit better on fuel and tires here. Maybe he pitted later, if I remember right. If not, he's just doing a fantastic job with this. Rob has got himself some clean track to run on and some very burnt tires. He'll be coming in soon, I'm sure, as I'm pretty sure we're probably getting close. As Green does come in, so it does look like a lot of those initial people are coming in. So we will see kind of how Piper's whole... but he's going to come in for tires. Green's going to have to put fuel in. He's already done fueling. What is Piper going to have closing on this? Maybe a few seconds? It was 9 when he tried it to begin with. Everyone else is coming in as well. Ryle stays out. Edwards still staying out, as is Austin. Where did Austin come out at? How's he in 6th? Oh, he put in more fuel again. I didn't think he would need to fuel again there, but... Interesting. So that's going to fall him into this traffic again, and all these people are going to be pitting soon, so he's going to get these positions back, but... he is going to have to try to probably work with them because they are not on tires. He should be just faster paced than all of them, as he is not on the best tires, but it currently puts Real into 2nd place. But that is separating Green by a solid 11 seconds on him as well, and he's going to come in, so the gap back to Austin after that pit still stays at 13 seconds to the lead, so he didn't gain any time by adding fuel. Or adding as much fuel, I guess. Green is adding back to just under 50%, actually. He is very much in a fuel-saving mode, just really showing how to drive the McLaren. Just getting way out there, as the entire back group, as Edwards is maybe looking for a move. Nowhere to do it. We also see him running all over the back. Jokerman all over the back of Austin, as he's worked his way all the way back up. What a recovery if he's in any kind of a realistic. His tire, so he's going to go in. But there is a gap behind this entire mayhem of whatever this is right now. What a view, too. You see Callum back there looking, and if he's on fresh tires, which he is probably not too upset to see all of these people battling, because that's going to cost... it's basically like adding time to your pit stop, which is what Callum's going to be worrying about, because he's waiting for them to go in so he can try to go past them all under pit stop. And it costs less time to pass someone when they're in the pit stalls than to pass someone when they're side by side with you on the track like this. So that might be real beneficial for him on his battle here. As we see this entire battle just continuing to rage on. As, ooh, Piper gets way sideways. Oh, and then goes into a wall, comes back across the track. Am I lagging, or is this really just getting dodged by everybody? And everyone kind of just moves on through as Joker's looking to come into the pits as they're going to come in. So it's really going to be Callum's strategy here is, oh, he's going to pass them by a good portion. As he goes flying down the start finish and gets out before any of them, putting him into 2nd, or into 3rd, and Piper now in a comfortable 2nd, but we'll see how comfortable that is if that time keeps coming down. But now Green, once again, in a pretty common position for him as we see him driving that McLaren. Quite often has a gap that he has to maintain, and it doesn't even start to close, so we'll see if he can continue to put up. But he's running casual times that other people are pushing for, so he is separated from everyone. And we see a mass of cars come out of the pits together, as we've got Graham on some old tires in there, Edwards on the fresh, everyone else will be on fresh. It's just going to be Graham who's on the olds. Maybe John's on old tires as well. Nope, John's fresh and he's ready to go race 2. So this is a crazy battle. We got the leader, 2nd and 3rd. Callum will keep an eye on seeing if he can close down to 2nd, and I promise, Piper, if you close Green, we'll come to you immediately. But we'll keep watching on that as we see as Graham's kind of closing the gap down on those worn tires as well. So He might be able to use a little bit of their battling just to kind of make his stint actually get a little better by just staying in this group. As John's looking for a move, or they just taking different lines? Just taking different lines. As Graham's now all over the back. I think John's line may have been a little slow as he's about to give up all the positions. Oh, and he couldn't get down on the apex, so, I mean, oh, a little contact with Edwards. And that's going to push Edwards wide. Now they're 4 wide through a corner that's only big enough for 3 cars, so someone had to use a little bit of grass there. And somehow they're all through, and Edwards is still in front. It's John trying his best not to lose all these positions, but it looks like they finally got up the inside of him, and now he's going to have to just sneak back in, wait for the same thing to happen, and just be like Joker, follow right through. And you get right back in it, as it did help Graham get separation, which, like we said, that's going to help his strategy, because he's on worn tires. These people should be passing him, but if they're going to battle this hard right there, same for Ryle, who's on the same strategy as them. They're going to battle this hard. He's just getting free separation, but don't worry, he'll help you out. Oh, the wall spins him. That is, I'm sorry for even looking at you. That is 100% my fault. That's a caster curse. Let me look somewhere else. I apologize. So he just is going to have to get some pace to catch right back up. That's just rough. Been there. But everyone's lined back up, and it turns out Graham somehow ends up in front of the group. And Edwards trying to work his way through. Very wide. Austin trying to get back past Graham. I guess Graham got past Austin, but he gets right back through. Graham shuts the door. He knows he's fighting for his area right now. As Liam's getting a nice little bit of clean air up in front. Callum has not made any... Okay, he's made like 3/10 of a dent in the gap, but he is still working on it. Their tire's roughly the same. His a little worse. Oh, but it's just going to come down to this fuel strategy that Piper's running on, because Piper's just running a different fuel strat than everybody else, for sure. I don't know if he's just guaranteeing he doesn't run out of fuel, or if there's some late game plan where all this little bit of extra fuel adds up to like reduce a pit stop or something. But we'll see, because he's just constantly running on higher fuel than everybody else. As Graham's now getting attacked by Edwards. Edwards gets the job done. Joker's looking for it, but couldn't get it done. Ben trying to close this gap up as well on some tires. John on the fresh tires, but he's on the hards, trying to just keep it relative right now on the hards. Got to get those 4 laps in. I think it's 4 laps. Someone said that earlier, so blame them if it's wrong. As they just come over, all lined up. A little bit of separation. Joker trying to work back through. Graham trying to just not do this. He should be coming in soon, yeah. So this is probably his last lap. Austin's got a few more for sure. Liam's getting close. Few more maybe. Callum probably coming in soon. Piper, hard to tell. Tires say let's come in soon. Fuel says let's go all race. So it's hard to tell there. And then Green also coming in pretty soon as well. Maybe his last lap, one more maybe after this one, but that would be really pushing it. And he doesn't even really need to worry too much with the gap he has. He could be safe about it. As the gap has kind of stabilized between the 3 and 2.5 second range between Piper and Callum, it seems. As we do see Graham come in, it was his time. Everyone else coming through, lined up a little bit. John getting on by Graham, Ryle, or Real getting on by Graham. Graham's going to come out behind Rob, it appears. Conrad coming in. Groot coming around right now. And then Rossi coming around back in the back as well. So Rossi might be in a battle with anyone coming out of the pits if Groot's going into pits right here, because he's still got quite a bit of fuel, which he's not. So falling back quite a little bit. But that's racing for you. It happens to the best of us. As a matter of fact, that's where I usually race from. As right now, everyone's kind of their strategies has gotten everyone separated, so it's going to really find out, like, if anyone can close these little gaps we have, as we see a gap from Edwards to Austin, a gap from Joker to Edwards, and a tiny gap from Ben to Joker as well, just outside of slip range. As that is a nice little Rockstar livery. You know, so we're just kind of seeing if anyone can close any gaps up. As we know, a lot of these cars have been racing up near the top, so I have a feeling a lot of them are going to come together when these final pit stops come together. As Ben's sitting just over a second outside of Joker, who's bringing the gap down a little bit to Edwards. It's going up and down, who knows. Edwards trying to close it up to Austin, though. Ooh, that NSX just wants to go. You can see it spinning through there. Liam in the comfortable, uncomfortable zone where the gap is not far enough that you can really go easy between everyone, but also far enough that as long as you don't make mistakes, your strategy is working right now. Don't do anything crazy, as he'll be coming in real soon. But Green just came in, so he was probably on that. And I just have to feel like Piper comes in for tires, and he's gonna underfuel eventually. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe he's just like been extra fueling, so he just doesn't, like, maybe he extra fuels one last time so that he comes in on. I just don't understand it yet. We'll see as he comes in. Liam also in the pits as well. Austin staying out, but doesn't have many laps to go, maybe one, so he's just on like an overcut strategy. Edwards in a similar boat, 1 or 2 laps. Oh, he had to run it wide to not get into the back of him there. That's going to cost him a little bit of time to let Joker close it up, as Joker's through by Piper now, as Piper comes out of the pits, adding the fuel lane onto the racing hards. Green is out of the pits, and his lead has actually come down just a little bit, but that's not the person his lead came down to, so it's actually quite a bit up. Continuing to climb, as Piper's once again found himself in some traffic that he's going to have to deal with, while his battle partner, the person who has been battling closest to him, Callum, has come out in, just an absolute battle back here. So he's going to have to work through all of this field right here to try to close back up as all these pit strategies will go. But the gap between them isn't too far. There's a fuel difference somewhere, it seems. Oh, the softs to the hards as well. So Callum will be able to close it up if he can get through, because he is on the way softer tire. Edwards looked like he got that a little sideways, but that might just be how the NSX looks when it drives, because it is squirrely. Up in third, as we've got Austin sitting in second. Both of them are, well, I guess Edwards isn't flashing yet. He will be soon. So they should be coming in pretty soon, as Jokerman's getting hounded by Piper now. You'd think he'd still have a little bit more pace being on the soft, so he should probably be able to separate. But if Piper can keep the slip, that's super helpful getting pulled by. So hard to keep a slip on a GTR in the slip, and it still just pulls right out of it. Like, it's just so tough. They're so fast. But you can make it back up through these little sections, even on the worst tires, just because it's not their forte. But over the course of it, it's going to be hard to keep that on the tires. Ben's closer to the same time, as his tires are very... I think Ben may be coming in and not putting in much fuel on his strategy to try to go quicker, maybe, because he is very burnt on those tires, so it's quite a bit of fuel. Edwards all over the back of Austin. They've got to be coming in here, right? Yep, so he's coming in side by side, so whoever has more fuel, which is Edwards, will probably come out ahead there. Joker as well coming in. Piper staying out. He's on full tires and his hard, so he's officially back into second. Callum has actually lost some time to Piper, but does have the softer tire, so should be able to close this gap up. And I think since he's run his hards, Piper's running his hards here, where they come out of their final... There's not going to be a final pit stop. That was Piper's final pit stop, so 4 seconds over 3 laps to try to get second for Callum, as these are the final pit stops, which actually ends up getting Liam into fourth, which is fantastic. It looked like he was running pretty far back, and Edwards trying to get fifth. Milton doesn't want to give it up, but Milton's in there. He's got good to go. Milton's good to go. The strategies have come together, and they're all just on top of each other. Graham doesn't look like he has enough to make it, though, so he probably has another pit plan somewhere. And yeah, I think we can just kind of see that there's a lot of people in the hards who are still grouped up and stuff, but the separation has really come for a lot of the soft drivers, especially like Piper and Green, is the fact that they didn't have to any battling, and then Callum, who I believe started on the hards, just worked through everything so fast and got away from those battles that he's actually sitting in a podium position right now in that strategy. Liam as well. It's just kind of like, not losing too much time, not having that big loss. Edwards has been battling, but he started way at the back, 15th place, all the way up into 5th. Could find a way to get 4th here. If he gets 4th, who knows? He could get 3rd. We'll give him the win if he gets it. Who knows? But, I mean, that's been a great drive from him starting at the back. And we'll just have to see if Ben can close this gap down to take that away. Austin, who was running towards the top there for a while, is falling back into 7th, but barely just sitting that far from the top 5. You know, got 3.5 laps to go. Joker getting hounded by Graham, who, yeah, we said we'll have one more stop, so Ryle will most likely, it's close, Ryle will come out right, or why do I keep calling him Ryle? I know it's Real. And Real and John, who both had fantastic races, will be coming out right in that group as well as they come through the S's. No one's quite been able to find anything, as we'll check and see. It looks like Callum's maybe closed the gap up. As it looks like, to be fair, Liam's closing the gap up to Callum, who's closed the gap up to Piper. So they're all closing the gap up, as Piper's on the hards, Callum's on the softs, Liam's on the better softs, Edwards is on even better softs. So, yeah, I think a lot of these 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th are going to have potential. Any one of them could potentially get anywhere in the podium right now. I feel like Joker's, who had a great race, he's just far enough back that that might start to become difficult. He would need, like, actual accidents to start happening or something. But not far back at all, so he's still in there if they end up getting real crazy. But just over paces, it's really looking like everyone should realize that everyone could potentially end up battling here, as Callum is already inside a 2nd of Piper, Liam just outside a 2nd, about to be inside a 2nd of Callum, Edwards inside a 2nd of that. There is 5 seconds between 5 cars, maybe, as we've got a purple lap from Ben. If he can keep that kind of pace up, he'll close down even more pace, because that's faster than a 2:15.8 right now. As we see him really trying to close this gap down. Everyone's trying to close the gap down. He's lost the purple. He's still blue by 7/10, so he's still looking for that 16. And this is in traffic. Austin caught it. Didn't lose too much time there, but Joker's going to gain a little bit more on him, it looked like. As now Callum is all over the back of Piper. And if you're in Liam's spot, you can see that. You're just like, go battle him. Just battle him. Let me get in there. Put me in, coach. But at the same time, he's having to defend against Edwards, who's trying to get past him. Ben's looking for anything he can find. Austin had a little bit of a spin, so he's fallen off a little bit, but he's kind of in the Joker realm of if they start wrecking each other, I'm going right by. We've got John, who's worked his way into 9th back here, and he's got a comfortable 9th after Graham pitted, who's getting hunted down by Real. Rob's got the pace to probably hunt both of those down, so there's going to be a battle for just about every position on the track. Gotta go upwards. Can't wrap around. So as they are coming down the start-finish straight, Callum is not going to look for him. Is going to look for the move. Gets alongside late. That's going to slow Piper down a little bit. Callum into 2nd. Now Liam looking for a podium, as Edwards is right there as well. Ben's right there as well. Everybody wants a podium here. But this isn't Oprah. Everybody doesn't get one. And only 3 of them. There's only 2 positions left, as everyone's looking to get the right line, as Ben just stays on his, and he's going to gain the most time through that corner because everyone else is battling. Oh, but he gets a little wheel spin. Tough. That's going to put him back just a hair, as we see everyone else just front to back going through. As, ooh, little contact maybe? Maybe not. Either way, nothing happened. No harm, no foul. Everyone just filters right in as, whoo, that wall comes up real close, real fast. 1.5 laps to go. Everyone looking for the podium position right here. Callum's trying to get outside that slipstream, and he has done it, so he might be trying to start to feel a little bit comfortable if everyone else keeps battling. There may only be 1 podium position up for grabs now. I see Liam all over him right now. Oh, I don't know where you go for a move here. They're going to do it anyways. Who cares where you do it? You just do it. This isn't even the last lap yet, as, oh, Liam ends up getting filtered almost all the way out of that fight right there. As Edwards wants the podium. He's going to try to go side by side. He has to fall back in and filter back out, and lets Liam slip back into the slipstream as well. Ben sitting right there as well. This is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4-way battle for a podium position here at the very end of the race, as we see battles going on further down as well that we'll check on real quick. As, oh, Joker is all over Austin, looking to get that top 7. We've got John comfortable-ish, with Graham trying to close him down. Real losing a little bit of time. And it looks like the rest of the battles are going to really be for this second position right here, as Callum has lost a little bit of time. He had a bigger gap a minute ago, even though they've been battling, but this will be the final lap. This is where it comes down to, and Callum's probably feeling comfortable if they're that close to each other coming down this back straight, because that means they're all going defensive, and it's just going to cost them all more time. No one's going to catch up if they're all battling this crazy, but everybody wants a podium because Edwards is in third, and he sticks it on the outside, so he's going to hold down the third. Piper falls back into fourth, Liam now into fifth. Ben trying to take away that. He wants a top 5. This is actually letting Joker close into this top 5 battle as well. Edwards is closing that gap on Callum, as it's only 0.6 of a second now, so the position into second is now under attack, as well as, oh, we see Piper getting maybe a little help. Maybe he got on the throttle a little too early. We didn't catch it. Either way, they are now side by side coming into this insane turn. And he closes the door. Ben looking for the inside. Can he get it to stick? That is slowing them down a lot. I can't say, did he stick? He didn't, so it is falling behind. And now Joker's in the battle for this battle as well with half a lap to go. This is now reeled in everyone as we see Callum trying to stay defensive and keep on that apex versus Edwards. Edwards looking for any exit room he can. He tries to go on the inside, gets a little overlap going down that. He's going to be on the wrong side in this, going for somewhat of a cutback. Not quite, as we see Ben looking for any room in the background as they come around. Ben's trying to get some overlap, force him on the inside on Piper. Can't quite do it. Edwards still isn't able to quite find anywhere. Is he going to have the top speed? What are we looking at? Alexis versus an NSX is quick. Oh, he comes off of it. It looks like Edwards tries to get a run, but can't quite get it. We see Liam spinning tires. They're so far away, but we see dirt kicking up. Oh, as we see a little gap go, so now it's really just a battle for second and third. Who's going to get second? Who's going to get third? Liam's trying to close that gap down. Ben's now in a top 5 position. Joker's closed all the way in on him. Piper's fallen all the way back into 7th, and Austin's in 8th, right behind, trying to close it back up, as we see Edwards looking for anywhere to try to get by, running out of time. There is one turn technically left to go. Sorry, Green, congratulations on your 30-second win. We will come congratulate you more after we watch. Oh! As Edwards is past him for a second, Edwards is going to end up going all the way from last all the way to second, as no one's going to quite get to make a move, as we see Liam coming in 4th. 3rd was Callum, whatever try from him. Joker ends up in 5th. Piper back in 6th. Ben drops to 7th somehow. Austin stays in 8th. Graham, who I honestly thought was way further down the grid, is in 9th. And we see Ryle going for a move at the very end. They're going to be side by side with John and Ryle. Who's going to get it? Ryle got it. Whoa! Side by side craziness. And Rob, yeah, looking snazzy, looking good. Oh, it slammed the wall. Oh, that was good. And then you ruined the paint. Conrad coming around with a great race. 13th. Just a lot of battling. Tough, but good finish, as Groot is on a pace race right now. And Rossi, you know, I'll give you this. You might be in the last place, but you have one of the best looking liveries. That is very clean looking. I love the pink, one of my favorite colors. That's not the line. Also not the line. That's the line. There it is. That's the move. As we see Rossi go around just a little bit. So, minute 35 until the timer hits. Doesn't quite look like he's going to make it. Looks like Groot will go ahead. I don't know why I keep calling you Groot. I know it's Adams. But it's Groot, because I called you it the whole race. Comes across in 14th with a good race. And Rossi's got 1 minute, 12 seconds to make that finish line to finish before the timer runs out. And not going to lie, that is a thing. You do not want the timer running out, so we'll see if he can make it. Nah, we'll actually talk about Green real quick. Green, what a race. 20-second lead over Edwards, who, honestly, last to second. Insanity. Callum probably kicking himself, feeling like he gave that up. He had a decent gap with a lap to go. Ended up getting it closed down and getting it moved there at the very end. So, Liam, with just a fantastic race through the whole thing, as clearly he's going to make the finish line in the next 38 seconds. So, way to go. Made it, Ross. And then, honestly, Joker, I thought had the pace for a top 5, and it seemed like he'd fallen off there for a little bit. But no, there he is in the top 5. Piper, who Again, probably thinking should have had a top 2 there, ends up in 6th. Milton with a good drive, probably thinking he finished right about where he deserves, there in 7th. I believe it was Austin in 8th, who was in the top 3, had fallen pretty far back, and ended up with a decent drive there, sitting in 8th. Congratulations, Green with the win here. SBR Season 11, see it says rounds 1 and 2. And then, let's get back to the race. Ben in 8th, Austin in 9th, Callum in 10th, Real in 11th. This is not the right order. That's the right order. There we go. Green in 1st, Edwards in 2nd with an amazing last to 2nd. We're about to get started with the backwards race, reverse grid as well. Callum in 3rd, Liam in 4th, Joker in 5th, Piper in 6th, Milton in 7th, Austin in 8th, Graham in 9th, Real in 10th, John in 11th, Rob in 12th, Conrad in 13th, Adams in 14th, and Rossi in 15th. So that is the end of round 1. That's why it says round 1 and 2. Round 1. Round 2 will be reverse grid rolling start. 7 laps here at the Kyoto Combined Driving Park. So take that grid we just saw and how tight it was, and now flip it around the other way, and they have 10 less laps to get to the finish line. So, I mean, to be fair, congratulations to Edwards on working your way all the way through that field so that you can just start at the back again and try again. So, like, fantastic job with that. I'm sure that's, you know, perfect, but that's what you get for racing so well in that race. As this should get started any second as we see people coming in on the hards. I didn't think you had to drive the hards on race 2. I thought you could just use the softs the whole time. I thought there were no rules. So interesting to see people on hards. I would expect to see them change to softs. Hopefully they notice that. Or maybe like usual, I don't know what I'm talking about and there's some rule that they all know about. So we're going to get this reverse grid race started any minute. I still don't understand why I'm seeing people on hards. They usually know better than me, but I feel like they should be on softs. That would be a penalty. If you get a penalty, you have to run hards on the reverse grid race. But we do see a lot of people going on hards, so I wonder if their cars were just set up because they planned on starting race 1 on hards and they've just forgotten to switch them back. Or if you do now have to run hards in race 2. Maybe you do have to run hards in race 2, but I didn't think you did. Interesting, but yeah, so I believe we will get underway as it looks like everyone may have switched to softs except for Liam, so it's possibly that you can run softs. I don't see any hards out there anymore. Yep, only, oh, no, Rob's still got some hards on. Looking nice at the back of the liveries. Everyone just sitting here, lined up. Stall 2's missing. Must be, I think we're waiting on John. Yes, so waiting on John. Thinking Liam still needs to switch to softs. Feeling like Rob needs to switch to, oh, Liam did switch to softs. Feel like Rob should switch to softs as well. Rob Adams is somehow in here. He should probably switch to softs because everyone else did. No, you switch to softs. We're watching you. It's going on stream that you're starting on hards when everyone else is on softs. Oh, he got it. I hope I'm right. What if you have to run hards? It's like, no, my strat was not, but if everyone's going softs. But yeah, so everyone's starting on softs, because yeah, I don't think there is any tire rules in race 2, so everyone's gotten their softs, so I'm just waiting. It looks like John is maybe back, so Some people got tired of sitting in the pits, decided they're going to go ahead and take off. Starts in 2 minutes, so, I mean, realistically, it's tough to say who wins the reverse grids. You know, we've seen Green just has a pace like, you know, no one else. Although we actually saw Ben on a purple lap over like halfway through the lap, so people have pace for sure, but Green just has an insane pace, but having to battle through traffic on this kind of track where you can get run wide, you can just run wide, the angles don't always seem to work out. We'll have to see how that works out, but it'd be hard to bet against, I mean, to be fair, it'd be hard right now to bet against Edwards not going from 14th to 1st, just in the fact that he just did this last race. He already knows how everything works, so he might just be able to go ahead and get through and do it again. Which we will see how that goes when we get started here in a minute, as, yeah, very difficult corner. Original John leading the practice lobby. As we should get underway any minute now. It's going to be an exciting race. Can't wait for it. The reverse grids are always just absolute insanity. The best bet is that if you are starting near the front and you feel like you have the pace to be able to like compete anywhere in there, just try to get away without battling right off the bat, because everyone behind you is going to just drive crazy. And so if any of the people who you think could probably beat you, like, just straight up won't matter, they'll probably beat you in a race, just realize, like, they might spin, they might get punted off, they might end up punting someone off because they're battling 4 wide through a corner that only fits 2 cars. So, yeah, I mean, I think if you're starting anywhere near the front, if you're in the, I think Conrad will be starting up near the front, Rossi will be starting at the front, yeah, full defensive, just try to run your laps, and if you can somehow find a way for everyone to get, you know, messed up, you've only got to go 7 laps. Yeah, it's about 15 minutes, but a little over 15 minutes maybe, but still, you can do it. That's what the reverse grid's for. Just, you know, don't do anything crazy in the first few laps. Just run your laps. They have to avoid you. And who knows, by the end of those first 3 laps, you might be just sitting there in first going, why do I have a 22-second gap right now? I didn't even know there was a huge dip right there, it looked like. Oh, I guess he was on that. I see where he was. Alright, well, so we got Rossi, pole position of the reverse grid, Adams in 2nd, Conrad in 3rd, Rob in 4th, John in 5th, Reel in 6th, Graham in 7th, Austin in 8th. Doing a rolling start with Ben in 9th, Piper in 10th, Joker in 11th, Liam in 12th, Callum in 13th, Edwards in 14th, and Green bringing up the back of the grid in last. As they start rolling, everyone's looking good. Computer's artificially warming up the tires, and we are underway as they are off, and didn't see any real wheel spin from any of them right here as group filters straight in. The rolling start distance is so far that it just lines you up right off the bat. Nothing you can do about it. And yeah, everyone looks like they are through the first corner pretty good. Graham already looking to maybe be making a move. The start of these are usually a little bit calm. Everyone kind of just filtering in, waiting for the person ahead of them to catch the person ahead of them, and then they can all start battling back and forth as we see the group starting to line up just a little bit. John sitting in 5th, followed closely by Rob, as it looks like we might be having Adams trying to make a move here on Rossi on the outside, as he does. Oh, as they have almost contact, and he does get it done. And then, ooh, Rossi comes off pace just a little bit, gets hit in the back, sliding across, but they're keeping it together. Oh, that's tough. Oh, he gets a little bit more contact. That is just getting bullied around everywhere, but he's not giving up. He's right back in. Nice little catch. Standing start. Oh, he's sliding it down. Oh, he got that. I mean, and this is exactly what you want if you were sitting there as Adams in front right now. You're like, yeah, just everyone battle, slow everyone down. I'm just going to run my laps and try to get to lap 7 before you guys. Why don't I have a display all? Why isn't it doing it? There it is. Yeah, rejoin however you want, right? Yeah, the reverse grid races tend to get a little bit hectic because some people really don't want to lose any positions, and Milton gets spun all the way around. I don't even know who missed their brake spot there. People were going crazy through there. That's not what he wanted, as he gets set all the way back. Looks like it must have been Graham and him who got together, as Graham also sets back. Green, who hasn't really made much of a move. Edwards, who you thought would be making some moves, hasn't found many, but I guess technically they've all gotten 2 passes right there. So if that keeps happening, they will continue just let everybody wreck each other all the way up the grid. Oh, Joker's looking for moves. Oh, that is... Rio got air going through the chicane like that. Piper's looking racy, trying to get up the inside of people and just move on through. He's up into 6th already, and I bet he's not in... He's in a good spot right now. He was thinking he should run 2nd. Same as Joker Man trying to make a move. Same as Austin. These are, you know, some of the top 5 runners last race, and they've already found themselves into the top 5. Oh, as Rossi gets spun, it looks like. Did he spin himself, get on the throttle early? Is anyone moving over to concede? May have spun himself getting on the throttle just a hair early. Or may have gotten a little bit of help, in which case that'll get looked at later. As it looks like Callum's looking up the inside of Liam, a little forceful there, kind of pushing that car in there. I think Liam might do something right back at him if he feels that was a little bit aggressive. Edwards up into 10th already. Yep, Liam was looking for a little move there. Is Callum's also looking to just kind of keep moving through? Liam's definitely... Yeah, I don't think Liam was too happy about that pass, as he is not letting him go anywhere. He's trying to get a move done anywhere he can. They definitely are looking 3 wide here, as we see John, Rob, and... I'm going the wrong way. John, Rob, and Conrad going through, as Rob ends up with the little undercut move. Moving all the way, what was that, from 4th to 2nd? Nice move for him. Oh, a little bit off. That's going to slow everyone down. Conrad wants to play dirt rally. He's going way wide. I think Rob got almost cleared by Piper. Now they're 4 wide. This is a chicane. You can't... Yep, that's going to spin someone, as we see Conrad get spun. You can't go 3 wide through a chicane like that. I guess it wasn't necessarily a chicane, but, I mean, basically, this is like the biggest chicane that's ever lived, as, whew, everyone's on a purple lap. They must be all driving fast on the 2nd lap. As Liam's gotten himself up into 7th, as he had a pretty rough start. As, ooh, Cripps gets a little wider. Liam giving a little bit back of what you gave. Okay. As now Edwards is going to try to get around the outside / inside, and he does get it done. Callum's coming right back at Liam. I don't think there's any love lost here. Edwards taking a line. And Liam ends up in front of everyone, but oh, looks like Callum might be looking up the inside of him again. And he probably got the run. It looks like Callum up by him. They're all just slipstreaming everyone. Edwards getting pulled by Liam. Oh, as we see, Green is up in the mix now. He wants to go ahead and get by everyone. He's trying to throw this 3 wide. He's going to take it around the outside in the McLaren. And no, he gets the door shut, as the leaders are also in a full-on 3-man battle. We've got Austin falling behind Joker. Joker trying to get away by Piper. As we see, or Austin. I've forgotten everyone's name at this point. Austin trying to get up to Joker, who's trying to get by Piper, who's caught up to Rob. Ooh, little bit of love tap on the back end. Just said no, you. As John's sitting here good, right all over the back of Adams, which is not what Adams wants. Adams just wants to run a lap and let everybody else crash himself so he can take an easy win. But John says, nah, my race to win. I'm right here. Rob's doing his best job to hold on to this podium position by slowing everyone down behind, but they are... Piper couldn't quite get an exit. That's going to let Austin close up even more, which is going to bring Joker in there as well. Callum's right there. Liam's lost a little bit to him, but Real's right there. Real's all in the battle. Edwards is, I thought, would have probably been further up the field halfway through this race, but there's been a few mistakes. For the most part, though, oh, they are just nose to tail through these sectors. Joker forcing Austin on the inside, getting on the outside. Austin trying to make it into a move, and Joker's going to try to take this 3 wide to take advantage of both of them. Oh, he's doing the cutback. I think he's got it. Look at Joker on the inside. He's going to get the run. Oh, he got a little wheel spin. That's probably not going to be quite enough. It's a tough angle. Alright, Piper just defending for his life here. Everyone attacking. He's like, guys, but we need to catch the rest of them up, so how about we stop full-on attacking me right now? Callum trying to close, but you know Liam's not going to let him go after that pass he had, so Liam had to get him back, so Callum had to get him back, so now Liam has to get Callum back, right? You know how this works. As they are all just still nose to tail. We see Edwards all the way back in 10th, still following that group. Graham and Ben all over each other through the S's. Ooh, I don't think he can make it around the outside there, but Graham, maybe with the power of the Viper on the little cutback move, got on the throttle a little earlier, as the whole world comes in to get some new tires. Well, just one Seaboard came in. That was a bunch of people coming in. Joker up into first. He's going to try to run a hot lap. It's really going to depend on how these pit people come out. Do they come out into battles, which it looks like John in fourth is coming out into a battle. But Ben on the tires, if he can either get by him or not get slowed down, as Rob's also getting thrown 3 wide. Piper looking for room. Edwards just comes through. That wasn't Edwards. That was Adams. That's his name. Adams trying to come through on Piper as they are all battling. Green's in the battle, sitting here looking for a battle. He's behind Callum, who's getting bumped as Austin gets bumped a little wide. Whew, as they are just all battling through here. Callum trying to close it up. Everyone, oh, Austin getting 2 tires off. Liam's in the battle, somehow right there. Green's trying to get by. Edwards doesn't want to deal with this. He's trying to get by Green. Liam's giving both of them a slip, so neither one of them can get a real run, it looks like. And it looks like Green's probably, we've seen it hold on the outside here. If you can keep your car alongside, the outside does end up working out pretty well here. I think Edwards might end up winning it in the long run here. And they are side by side into that corner, and it looks like he does close the door going through. It does work on the outside there every time. If you can keep your car alongside their car, they just will never win the battle all the way down the straight. You will always get to shut that door, it seems, as Rob runs a little wide, so Rob Adams runs wide, letting Adams through. And Milton's up into fourth. John's still looking good on his tires. We do know Real, we do know Joker. Both are most likely coming in, but maybe their strategy is just to stay out and hope that the people who come in, like John, won't be able to catch back up, but they are not very far back. I think they'll be good. We see Ben trying to gain. We see Piper, everyone just looking for anywhere they can. They're all bunched up, so it's so tense here. Any mistake is going to send someone around. Still keeping it clean, though. I mean, it's pretty much go time. You guys coming around here, it's going to be 3 laps to go. Depending on how much you need to go, it's only a 2-second gap from 10th to the lead, though, with 3 laps to go. Start at 3 laps. Oh, and they're coming out of the pits right into the battle. Looks like Real goes a little far back. Joker just couldn't really get onto the track. It looked like he just had to wait to almost get down to even get on the line. Edwards up into 8th right now, so that didn't work out the way he wanted it to. Liam's still rolling 7th. Callum in 5th, but we see here, we somehow have John's in the lead now. Of course he's in the lead, that's right. He was in 4th. The pits came in. He's gotten by Piper. He's just got to hold on to this lead for 3 laps, a 1-second lead, hoping that everyone else battles behind. We haven't seen, we've got Graham in there, but it seems as though we've had a few more people fall off the pace, so it looks like Edwards trying to look through. Liam, though, I don't even know which names to say. They are all just door to door. They're all just in here. 1st to 10th. I mean, 3.5 seconds. 1st to 9th. 3.6 seconds. 1st to 10th. I mean, everyone's still in this race right now. Anything could happen for anyone. Callum's trying to get up all the way through there. It's where you want to be. You want to be up in the front. You want to be where John is. This is where Piper would love to be right now. As we see them, all going a little wide. We've got Rob Adams on a purple lap right now on lap 5, so that's good. Low fuel, though. A lot of people probably are on a purple lap right now, actually. We see Adams getting very wide through there. As Groot's getting dirt. Oh, it looks like wheel spin everywhere. This is a weird camera angle. It's kind of cool. You're just looking really far away to see what's happening until they come over that hill and go by, but they're just, still battling. We did see Adams get a little bit of wheel spin there, so he did lose quite a bit of positions. He's now kind of slowing down the group behind him as Joker's trying to get a run done. Liam's just nowhere to go, right on the back of him. Callum's through as they're just all trying to make these moves done. Joker through. It looks like Liam's still getting hunted by Edwards, but at the same time trying to get... as Groot gets sideways. Was that a wheel spin? Was that help? Who knows? We'll never know. As Real's trying to get on through. Everyone's trying to get by. Groot ends up going from about third. Oh, and he gets pushed off. That is the worst lap. Brutal lap for him as he had a chance to have a podium there and just did not work out for him. We feel for you. Edwards still sitting in 8th, not looking like he's going to probably be able to work through the entire field. Not enough mistakes really happening, but let's look up here. 0.2 of a second. John trying, he's got 2 laps, so he's got to hold Piper back for a little over 4 minutes to take a win here. Piper at the same time getting attacked by Rob Adams, so Piper might not have such a good job catching up if he's constantly being attacked by Rob. Callum, who probably thinks in 2 laps he can make up that 1.3 seconds and just take the win overall. Liam up into 5th, getting attacked by Joker. Joker with the cutback. Liam's going to lose a few positions there, it looks like, as he's off the line. No one hit the wall. Oh, Ben didn't hit the wall. We're all good. As Liam goes on through into 6th, still kind of sitting it up, but probably wanting to get into that top 5 at least. I'm sure he'd like to be higher than that if he could. As Austin and Real are all over the back of him. Edwards still not really able to find anywhere through. He's still kind of just been stuck. As a matter of fact, he's actually fallen back a position. Not to be expected. Liam's going to fall back 90 positions if he was where his car just looked like it was around the outside. Yeah, so he loses 3, it looks like there. Falling all the way back into 9th. Ben trying to get back, but he says, nope, I lost 3, I'm taking 3 right back. But, oh, it looks like Ben may have got a little piece of him. Oh, it looks like, oh, that doesn't. Austin looks like he got a little bit of help there on that as everyone was wrecking coming around, and he's gone around. As now Ben is all over the back of Edwards. I have a feeling a lot of people are picking up some pins for passes on this one because there's been a lot of little bump moves. I don't know how exactly crazy it is, but Piper has gotten by John. That's problematic for John as the paces are usually a little bit different, so John's going to have to really buckle down if he wants to try to get a win here. And Rob trying to close the gap down as well. Callum, Joker may have no problem pushing him out of the podium so they can get a podium. So he's got to go 1 lap to hold on to the podium, but he's actually in a good slip spot. He's going to go for the move, it looks like. No, he gave up on it. That's going to cost time. I thought he wanted to make a move there, but it looks like he's okay with just trying to defend for the podium right now unless a mistake happens ahead of him, as we do see Callum maybe looking for a move on Joker. Joker's up into 4th. Callum does not want to be behind for sure. Real's right there as well, all in the battle. Showing he's got the pace to battle up there as well. Just try not to spin. Sometimes walls spin you. Edwards trying to get by Ben. We've seen the outside work here as Ben gets a little wheel spin. It may have been a little lag as well. As they are side by side down this battle. Ooh, just door to door. Edwards gets a little sideways. Ends up with a cutback move, but Ben shuts the door, letting Liam somewhat close back up, and now Green's in the battle right here, trying to make sure he stays in the top 10. He's currently the points leader in the championship, so every position for him matters, as everyone ahead of him is gaining points on him in this race right now. So he definitely wants to try to find a way to get it done, as he looks a little cutbacky, but Liam's just making that BMW big. As we see John still sitting in the top up there in 2nd, or a Piper in the top. John still sitting in 2nd as Joker's falling back from 4th into 6th. Real up into 4th. Everyone moving around. Rob's all over the back of John. Joker's still in 6th though, as Callum has moved his way back into 4th. Rob all over the back of John. Like we said, the gap to Piper's gotten decent. Piper's looking like he may want to take this one home, and John is now under pressure with 3rd place, trying to take away that 2nd place, and then right after that is everyone else trying to take away this podium of his. There's only the S's and the 1 real long right-hand turn to go for him to go ahead and hold on to this podium, possibly even a 2nd place, but no mistakes, hit your marks, don't miss your brakes. It looks like Real wants a podium. Trying to find a spot on Rob, putting pressure all over the back of him, going defensive as Rob. Joker's going to try to look around the outside, try to get a run to the straight. Finish line is a long way away, so you could get a run here. As we see him trying to go 2-3 wide, John's blocking left, John's blocking right, he's going to hold on to second. I can't even begin to say what order these people finished in. John in second, Real in third, Joker ends up in fourth, Callum ends up falling back to fifth, Rob all the way back to sixth, Ben up to seventh, Edwards holds eighth, Liam down to ninth, Green up to 10th, Graham somewhere with 11th, Austin comes around in 12th, which I'm sure this whole race he could have had a lot higher, but just a few mistakes from people around him and getting gathered up and stuff. Rossi gets... I don't understand how Rossi finished ahead of Groot. He couldn't have been lapped. Don't understand how this is going on. Oh, Groot's in pause mode. That maybe... I don't understand. Either way, Rossi gets 14th and Groot gets 13th, even though Rossi's finished, but Groot hasn't. Makes sense, game. GT Sport for you. But yeah, congratulations to Piper. What a race from him. Just get out there and just let everyone else. And then let's be honest, John, what a fantastic drive. Started up there, got in the lead, tried to hold on as long as he could, ended up battling all the way and taking a second place. Real with a great drive to get into third. Joker, man, fantastic drive into fourth. Everyone with a great drive. You guys saw the rest of the list. They don't give me enough time to go through them all before we go through here. But nah, congratulations to Piper with the win and the clean race. Excellent. So race results for the final race were Piper in first, John in second, Real in third, Joker in fourth, Callum in fifth, Rob in sixth, Ben in seventh, Edwards in eighth, Liam in ninth, Green in 10th, Graham in 11th, Austin in 12th, Adams in 13th, and Ross in 14th. And that has been SBR's GR3 Championship here at Kyoto Driving Park. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed what you liked, check out their YouTube, subscribe here, and you can find them on Facebook, here at YouTube, and Instagram. Thank you all for being here, and see ya.